Hey everybody, how are you? This is Gary from Enough, bringing you Kwanzaa Live Day 4 tonight. And today's principle is Ujamaa. It is almost midnight, and we're bringing you today's presentation for Kwanzaa Live pretty late tonight. My wife and I were out celebrating the birthday of a dear friend, and just lost track of time and didn't get everything together. But we do have an excellent presentation ready for you regarding Ujamaa, which is the principle for today on Kwanzaa Live. And Ujamaa means cooperative economics. It means brotherhood, as you'll learn in a few minutes, but it also captures the concept of cooperative economics, building our communities, building our economics, investing in each other, supporting each other economically, our communities, our families, etc. All of that is wrapped up in Ujamaa. So as you sit down and as you think about the Kanara and you've lit the black candle, you've lit the first red candle, the first green candle, and now you're at the second red candle representing Ujamaa or cooperative economics. Sit back if you're looking at this in the morning over a cup of coffee. We'll have tonight's presentation ready for you at 7:30. We won't be late like we are tonight, but sit back over your coffee, over your cereal this morning, and think about yesterday's principle, which is Ujamaa, which refers to cooperative economics. So sit back, enjoy yourself on Kwanzaa Live as Josh Cole shares a little bit with you regarding Ujamaa. Here you go.
Well, hey everyone, come on in the room. It is time to continue our journey through Kwanzaa. And I am so excited and elated to share with you our fourth principle, Ujamaa. So come on in the room, let's continue our journey and let's talk about how we're journeying through Kwanzaa. Let's take a look into this. As we're looking at this word Ujamaa, it is a Swahili phrase which means fraternity. But more specifically, as we're dealing with Kwanzaa, it is dealing with cooperative economics, making sure that we as a community have everything that we need in order to survive and to prosper. That means, listen, I say it all the time. I know y'all have heard it all the time too. Some of us get a little frustrated and we say this statement all the time. See, this is why you can't support black folk. But in this concept, we have to be willing to make sure that we are financing each other and supporting each other and with our community that we're able to strive and prosper. Watch this now. We will make sure no matter what happens, we continue to shop at Walmart. We will make sure no matter what happens, we continue to shop at Target. And no matter what happens, we are still going to Wise. But let one of our friends start their own business and they're late on an order, or something bad happens, we're ready and willing to give up so easily. But as we look at Ujamaa, we have to find out a way to continue to support one another and make sure we're doing cooperative economics. Now, I'm a preacher, so I got to give you some scripture. I want to look at Acts chapter 2, verse 44, and it says this: "And all that believed were together and had all things in common, and sold their possessions and goods, and parted them to all men as every man had needed, and they prospered." This is key to note that people were together. These early believers were together. They were gathered, they were synchronized, in sync with each other, and they had things in common, and then they supported one another. We want to make sure that we have black-owned businesses, black-owned shops, black-owned restaurants, black-owned clothier companies, so that we can get everything we need right within our community, and that our money can go to boost, celebrate, and support one another. Right here, while I'm thinking about it, I have to give a big shout out to the Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce, who is doing exactly that. I remember a couple of years ago, they started at the Virginia Black Business Directory to make sure that we as individuals had a list of businesses that we could support right within our backyard. Because how many of us have been looking for black-owned businesses to support, but we found no way to get there, or looking for black-owned banks or black-owned early childhood development centers. We're constantly looking, but we need to make sure that we can support one another, find out, and then share with other people. We get mad. We say we don't want to support Black folks, but then we come right back around and we're constantly looking for how we can support one another. And this is going to be key. As we are practicing cooperative economics, we need to make sure that we're supporting Black-owned early childhood development centers, early, Black-owned daycare centers, Black-owned banks. We got one right in Washington, D.C. Making sure that these Black-owned restaurants, when they open up, that they don't just stay open for a year or 2 years and then they quickly close. We need to make sure these restaurants stay open and are competitive with Fridays, that they're competitive with Cheddar's, that they're competitive with some of these other restaurants that are in town. And then when we have wonderful clothing companies, we have Black-owned clothing companies that are popping up. We want to make sure we can support them. You go to Sephora, they have a Black-owned healthcare line where all these Black-owned hair care products are coming out. We need to make sure that we support those right in our backyard. I got to give a shout out to Deeply Rooted that comes up with these body care and hair care products. We got to support our own right in our community so that our money is able to boost and celebrate us. You even have in inner cities where you have these charter schools that are created specifically for Black and brown students to make sure that we're receiving the same education and the same quality of education that many of our other brothers and sisters who go to private schools are able to get. We need to make sure that we have our own schools and that we're able to support one another so that we have the resources that we need to celebrate each other, support each other, and to continue on. Cooperative economics. That's the fourth principle of Kwazaa. What are we doing to make sure that we can support one another financially and economically, that we're able to rise up? We also have the ability now, throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia and in Congress, we have the largest amount of Black representatives in Congress and in the Virginia House of Delegates and the Senate. What are we doing to communicate with our Black elected officials to let them know what we need out of legislation that is going to boost our economy? What are we doing in our communities to have conversations with our elected officials, whether they look like us or not, to boost our economic opportunity? What are we doing in our churches? What are we doing with our businesses? What are we doing with our civic associations? What are we doing with our NAACP chapters? What are we doing with our Links and our Jack and Jill chapters? What are we doing with our Divine Nine chapters to make sure we are supporting one another economically so that we have cooperative economics? Now, this is not to say that we aren't doing things in our community, because there are plenty groups who are. But I just want to challenge you to think about what we do every single day to boost our cooperative alliance, to boost our economics. So when you find out that there's a Black-owned business in your neighborhood, do everything you can to support them. When your cousin, Pookie Nim, or whoever are coming up with a new business, even if it's just a lawn care business, what are we doing to support ourselves and our community to make sure that we have cooperative economics? And then when you find a Black-owned business that is doing great, that is doing well, not just the barbershop and not just the salon, but making sure that we are sending our friends, family members, and other people that they can be their customers and continue to prosper. It's about what we're doing to build cooperative economics. That is the fourth principle that we're dealing with in Kwazaa. And I'm excited because all around us here, and I don't know where you're watching from, but I live in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And right here in Fredericksburg, we have some amazing Black-owned businesses that are prospering and are doing well. And not only are they prospering and doing well, they're giving back to the community. That is that cooperative economics, that fraternal brotherhood, that sisterhood that is supporting one another, because when you do better, I do better. When you go up, I go up. And anywhere I'm at, you're going to be. And I love musicals. And one of my favorite musicals right now is Hamilton. And one of my favorite songs in Hamilton is In the Room Where It Happens. When it comes to cooperative economics, make sure you are in the room where it happens. Because if we're not in the room, if we're not at the table, that means we're on the table. And cooperative economics is making sure that we are all together at the table to boost our economy, to boost our wealth, to make sure that we are competitive and that we can hold our own when it relates to other communities and the things that we want to see done. So as you're considering all of these principles that you've learned this week, consider what you can do to celebrate, support, and boost Ujamaa, cooperative economics. God bless you, and I'm so excited to take part during this week and again this year for our Kwazaa celebration. God bless you, and don't forget, Habari Gani, what's the news? Ujamaa, cooperative economics. God bless you.
Hey, I told you. I told you it was going to be good. That was very, very good. Thank you so much, Josh, for sharing with us tonight. And if you're watching in the morning, because we are very late tonight, thank you for watching. Look, we're going to be right back at it again later today at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday. We have Reverend Hashmel Turner lined up to share with us his thoughts on an upcoming principle, and we have a couple of others lined up as well. Look, let's make sure we're talking about these principles every day. Go back to the beginning, talk about them up to the current day with your family, with your coworkers, with your friends, with your men's group, your youth groups, what have you. It's important that we stay focused on these principles. All right. All right. Look, thanks again, everybody. It's late. I know you're ready to go to bed. I certainly am. Thank you again, Josh. God bless you, sir. And look, everybody, remember, together, there's not much we can't accomplish together. Let's work together. Let's lift each other up. Let's promote each other. Let's support each other, right? And let's hold on to the rich heritage we have as people of African descent. Okay? Take care now. God bless you. Happy Kwanzaa.